Hello, I'm Vikram Belapurkar, and I do Data Center Solutions Marketing at Pivot3. Today, I'm going to show you a quick demonstration of cloud connectivity options for Pivot3 hyperconverged infrastructure. So we're going to look at two scenarios in this demonstration. In the first one, we'll see how we can schedule and apply cloud replication policies to Pivot3 volumes to back up data into Amazon Web Services Cloud using Pivot3 Acuity Cloud Edition. In the second scenario, we'll perform live migration testing of a running virtual machine from Pivot3 infrastructure into Amazon EC2 Cloud. So here's our vCenter. Let's look at the cluster that we'll be using for this exercise. So in the hosts and clusters, you see this Acuity Sky. That's the cluster we'll be using for this cloud demonstration. You see in this cluster, there are 4 nodes. Now we look at the VMs. There are 4 Pivot3 VMs on those 4 nodes that are managing the underlying hyperconverged infrastructure. Let's get into the Pivot3 GUI. You can do so by going into the plugin right from vCenter, but I have it open up here. This is the dashboard that shows you status on all the systems that are managed under this plugin. But let's get into configuration. Here you see all of the VPGs, virtual performance groups, or the clusters that are here managed under this plugin. The clusters that we are going to use is Acuity Sky and this Acuity Cloud Storage. Acuity Sky cluster is again deployed on the same 4 nodes. It's hosted in one of the tech marketing labs Pivot3 has. This is the source cluster. The destination cluster for our backup and for our workload migration is going to be this Acuity Cloud. Here you see Acuity Cloud Edition has been installed in this one. You're able to see the version number right here. Now what we're going to do is create the policies for this cloud backup on a daily basis. For that, we go into data services. Here we choose the right virtual performance group or the cluster that we want to create this policy for. We create protection QoS, and we add a protection policy. Now let's name this policy as a daily cloud backup. It's a replication policy. The target for this is going to be cloud DR. And here we can choose the frequency of this replication. Let's choose once a day. We can choose the time that's most suitable for us. We can choose the number of copies that we want to keep. Let's create this policy. Now, once we have this policy, the next thing we need to do is apply this policy to a volume. For that, we go into Storage Provisioning tab. Let's choose the volume that we want to apply this policy to. And let's modify this volume to add the policy. Now here you see the protection policy for this volume currently is no policy, but the policy that we just created now shows up here as one of the options. So let's choose that policy and apply it to the volume. Okay, so the policy has now been applied to the volume. So what we saw was we created a policy for backing up data to cloud on a daily basis. And then we successfully applied that policy to one of the Pivot3 volumes that are hosted on an on-prem infrastructure in one of the tech marketing labs that Pivot3 has. Next use case, we'll see how we can migrate a live running workload or a virtual machine using our partner Cloud Endures technology. We'll be migrating the workload into Amazon EC2 Cloud. So here's the use case that we'll be doing. A virtual machine that's running on Pivot3 Acuity cluster in one of the tech marketing labs. We will migrate that to perform a live migration into Amazon EC2 Cloud. So for that, let's go back to our vCenter. You see, let's go to the VMs and templates to see the VMs that we want to migrate. So these you see 01 and 02, these 2 VMs have Cloud Endure instance installed in them and is being actively protected with continuous data replication. The VM that we're most concerned with is the 01 VM. That VM has a WordPress instance running in it. And any changes you make to this WordPress instance are being propagated on using continuous data replication technology from Cloud Endure. We'll make changes to this, and we'll see if those changes are propagated when we migrate this workload. But before we do that, I just want to show you the Cloud Endure user interface and how these VMs are being protected. So let's go to the Cloud Endure user interface. Here you see, let me refresh this. Here you see the same two VMs that are being protected, and you see they are being protected with continuous data replication. The VM that we are most concerned with is the 01 VM. You can see in the status here that a target machine for this can be launched. But before we launch the target machine, let's go back to the VM itself and make some changes to the VM. For that, we get into the RDP VM. Let's customize this WordPress site. Okay, let's, as you see here, there's a version number here. We can change that version number to a new one. Let's call it 2.1.4. Let's publish those changes. Now we're going into Cloud Endure user interface to perform this live migration. So the VM again that we're protecting is this 01, that we're migrating is this 01. Let's migrate this VM. Let's launch this VM in EC2 Cloud. Let's use the test mode for that. Okay, when we say this, as you see, the target machine is being launched is the status here. As we launch the target machine, Cloud Endure server in the background is working on converting the virtual machine image conversion. So the image currently is optimized to run on ESXi server. However, it is being migrated to EC2. So the hypervisor conversion in the background is being conducted by Cloud Endure server. Now here you can see the target has been launched now. We can go into Amazon EC2 management console and connect to the instance now. So here's the EC2 console. You see two running instances here. The first one and the second one are the running instances. The first one is the one that we launched from Cloud Endure, from our tech marketing infrastructure into Amazon EC2 Cloud. The second one is actually the Cloud Endure replication server that is coordinating all the replication activities. So now we can connect to this instance as it's running, and looks like the status check looks good. We can use remote desktop to connect to this. Here you can see the instance is running into EC2. Let's go to our WordPress site and see if the changes we made on the source VM have been propagated or not. So look, the version number has been changed from version 1 to version 2.1.4. So now in this demo, we saw how you can back up data to public clouds, as well as how you can migrate live running workloads into public clouds from Acuity, from Pivot3 Acuity hyperconverged infrastructure. So in conclusion, I would like to say Pivot3 hyperconverged infrastructure is an ideal platform for modern hybrid clouds with its policy-based high-performance private cloud foundation and its easy, flexible public cloud connectivity. Thank you for watching, and visit us at pivot3.com.